Good evening. This is Akashvani. I am Valsav Williams with the news at 9. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrives on a two-day visit to Egypt after a successful state visit to the United States. Prime Minister to hold roundtable with his Egyptian counterpart Mostafa Madbouly at Cairo. Union Home Minister Amit Shah chairs All PartyMeeting in New Delhi on prevailing Manipur situation, assures to move together towards peace in the state. First COVID-19 booster vaccine developed in India for highly transmissible Omicron variant launched. Russia accuses private mercenary group Wagner of armed mutiny. President Putin calls it a betrayal and vows to crush it. And India's medal tally at SpecialOlympics World Games in Berlin goes up to 96 with 33 gold. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reached Cairo this evening on his first visit to Egypt after successfully concluding his state visit to the US. He was received by Egypt Prime Minister Mostafa Madbouly. Mr. Modi was given a guard of honor on his arrival. The Prime Minister will hold a roundtable with his Egyptian counterpart later this evening. He will meet the Grand Mufti of Egypt and interact with the Indian community there. He will also hold interaction with Egyptian thought leaders. Tomorrow, the Prime Minister will visit Al-Hakim Mosque and visit Heliopolis War Cemetery. He will hold delegation-level talks with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, and several agreements are likely to be signed following the talks. In his departure statement ahead of the visit, Mr. Modi said he is looking forward to discussions with President Sisi and senior members of the Egyptian government to impart further momentum to civilizational and multifaceted partnership of India and Egypt. Our correspondent reports that this is the first official bilateral visit of an Indian Prime Minister to Egypt since 1997.
President of Egypt, Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, was the chief guest at the Republic Day celebrations earlier this year. India's partnership with Egypt was elevated to a strategic partnership during his visit. Since then, there have been an intense level of ministerial-level political exchanges between the two countries. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, and Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav have travelled to Egypt. Similarly, at least 3 to 4 ministers from the Egyptian government have also visited India. This shows the extent of the very sharp focus that both India and Egypt are placing on strengthening all aspects of the bilateral relationship. Egypt has also been invited as a special guest during India's G20 presidency. Suparna Saikia, Akashvani News, Delhi.
On the last day of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris and Secretary of State Antony Blinken organized a luncheon in his honor in Washington. Speaking on the occasion, the Prime Minister said India and America are working with renewed trust in areas of new and emerging technologies. He said the sweet melody of the India-US relationship is composed by our people-to-people relations. The Prime Minister said both nations have collaborated to solve the challenges in bilateral trade. Speaking on the occasion, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris said India has inspired millions of people around the world.
India has inspired millions of people around the world, whether through philosophy and theology, the power of civil disobedience, or the commitment to democracy. Indeed, as I travel the world as Vice President, I have seen India's global impact firsthand. In Southeast Asia, Indian-made vaccines have saved lives and livelihoods. On the continent of Africa, India's long-standing partnerships support prosperity and security. And throughout the Indo-Pacific, India helps promote a free and open region.
The Prime Minister also attended the U.S.-India Strategic Partnership Forum in Washington. He said the greatest driving force of India's success is the aspiration of Indians. The Prime Minister said American companies have invested more than $16 billion in India in the last 2 to 2.5 years. He said the Indo-US defense partnership is building a special kind of relationship with the people of almost every state in America. Mr. Modi said Indian companies are investing billions of dollars in America, emphasizing that Indian companies are going global. Prime Minister Narendra Modi separately met Google CEO Sundar Pichai, Amazon CEO Andrew Jassy, and Boeing CEO David Calhoun in Washington, D.C. Google CEO Sundar Pichai said after the meeting that Google is investing $10 billion in India's digitization fund. He also announced the opening of Google Global FinTech Operations Center in Gift City, Gujarat. Amazon CEO Andrew Jassy said his company has already invested $11 billion with an intention to invest another $15 billion, bringing the total to $26 billion. Housing and Urban Affairs Minister Hardeep Puri has termed Prime Minister Narendra Modi's U.S. visit as historic. He said the Prime Minister's address to the joint session of the U.S. Congress and the representatives asking for Mr. Modi's autograph stand as a testament to his stature as a world leader. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has said India will soon be embarking on Passport Seva Program version 2.0, which includes new and upgraded e-passports. In his message on Passport Seva Divas today, he reaffirmed its commitment to provide passport and related services to citizens in a timely, reliable, accessible, transparent and efficient manner. Dr. Jaishankar said these initiatives will usher in a new paradigm of enhanced passport services to citizens and data security to enhancing the ease of living for citizens. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts. Home Minister Amit Shah today chaired an all-party meeting in New Delhi to discuss the prevailing situation in Manipur. BJP President J.P. Nadda, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi, Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma, TMC Leader Derek O'Brien, Shiv Sena Leader Priyanka Chaturvedi, RJD Leader Manoj Kumar Jha and CPIM MP John Brittis, among others, were present in the meeting. Sources said the Home Minister said in the meeting that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been constantly monitoring the situation in Manipur since day one and guiding everyone with full sensitivity to find a solution to this problem. He added that the Modi government is committed to solving the Manipur problem by taking everyone together, and the priority is that no more lives should be lost. Mr. Shah said the situation in Manipur is slowly returning to normal since the 13th of June and 1,800 looted weapons have been surrendered so far. The Home Minister solicited cooperation of all the political parties to help diffuse the situation and restore peace and trust among various communities in Manipur at the earliest. Mr. Shah expressed gratitude to all political parties for giving valuable suggestions to resolve the Manipur issue. Talking to media after the meeting, BJP leader Sambit Patra said all parties raised their concerns by keeping political differences aside.
सभी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज ने अपने विषय को बड़े ही सकारात्मक रूप से एक सकारात्मक माहौल में रखा। मीटिंग से पहले गृह मंत्रालय की ओर से मणिपुर की परिस्थिति को लेकर डिटेल प्रस्तुतिकरण हुआ है। सभी प्रतिनिधियों को सुनने के पश्चात माननीय गृह मंत्री श्री अमित शाह जी ने कहा कि जो भी आपने कहा है इन सब विषय पर विस्तृत रूप से हम चर्चा करेंगे और सारी जानकारी उन्होंने मणिपुर को लेकर प्रतिनिधि मंडल को दिया और स्वाभाविक रूप से सभी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज ने इसका स्वागत भी किया और गृह मंत्री जी ने भी ये आश्वासन दिया कि कोऑपरेशन के साथ हम सब मिलकर के यथाशीघ्र शांति की ओर बढ़ेंगे।
The northeastern state is witnessing sporadic violent incidents for over 1.5 months. Mr. Shah visited Manipur last month and met a cross-section of people to bring back peace in the state. Meanwhile, the security forces have cleared Imphal-Dimapur National Highway and movement of essential items along this highway is ensured with strict security measures. The highway has been blocked at Kangpokpi area since the violence started in the state. Science and Technology Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh today launched mRNA-based COVID booster vaccine, Gemcovacom, in New Delhi. The vaccine is the first booster COVID-19 vaccine developed in India against the highly transmissible Omicron variant. The vaccine will be rolled out from this Monday and it will cost 2,292 rupees per dose. The booster vaccine can be administered to individuals who have received 2 doses of either Covaxin or Covishield. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Singh said India has taken up a leading role in preventive health care.
Prime Minister Modi has awakened the nation. Have you ever imagined that a country which had no aptitude for preventive health care is now taken up a leading role in preventive health care across the world? So this 5th vaccine, possibly the first of its kind, is again an evidence of that, because all of us as part of the scientific fraternity have learned not to speak without evidence. So I think this is one glaring instance of that India has taken up a leading. So it's a huge turnaround that has happened.
India has achieved the milestone of 101 million metric standard cubic meters per day of gas production. In a tweet, Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said the feat reflects the untiring efforts of India's energy soldiers and the impact of policy reforms. In Assam, the flood situation improved slightly due to better weather conditions, but more than 4 lakh people are still reeling under the deluge across 15 districts in the state. More from our correspondent.
A total of 1,118 villages of 42 revenue circles affected due to flood and 8,469 hectares of crop areas have been damaged across the state. One more person lost his life in Nalbari district today. According to Assam State Disaster Management Authority, several embankments, roads, bridges and other infrastructure have been damaged by floodwaters in several districts. The state government has opened 101 relief camps and 119 relief distribution centers in flood-affected districts, and over 81,000 people are in the relief camps. The river Brahmaputra is flowing above danger level at Nimatighat and Tezpur. Aminul Haq, Akashvani News, Guwahati.
India Meteorological Department IMD has said that southwest monsoon has advanced into most parts of Peninsular and East India and some more parts of central and northwest India today. Isolated heavy to very heavy rainfall is likely over east, central and parts of northwest India during the next 5 days. Talking to Akashvani, senior scientist IMD R.K. Jenamani said,
Southwest monsoon advanced over parts of Maharashtra and then including Vidarbha and the entire Chhattisgarh, East Madhya Pradesh, and further into north-west Pradesh and almost entire Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh and parts of Jammu Kashmir. And our monsoon progress line passes through Alibag and then coming to entire Telangana and further to Nagpur and then in the East Madhya Pradesh and then further Uttar Pradesh up to Pantnagar and entire Himachal Pradesh. We are given rain advance over Mumbai and Delhi by next 2 days.
Russia has accused private mercenary group Wagner of armed mutiny and has ordered the arrest of its chief Yevgeny Prigozhin. Russian President Vladimir Putin has called the rebellion by Prigozhin a stab in the back and vowed to punish those responsible. Russian military helicopters have opened fire on a convoy of rebel mercenaries who were rapidly advancing towards Moscow after seizing a southern city, Rostov-on-Don. Mr. Putin, in a televised address today, vowed to crush an armed mutiny he compared to Russia's civil war a century ago. Mr. Putin said the unfolding events were a betrayal of the country and its people, and Russia would defend itself from internal treachery. He stressed that a civil war will not be allowed to repeat itself in the country. The statement came as the head of the Russian private mercenary group Wagner threatened to Russia's military leadership today. At the SpecialOlympics World Games 2023 in Berlin, Germany, India's medals tally has gone up to 96 with 33 gold on a rainy day that led to cancellations and postponements of almost all outdoor events. India's roller skaters won plenty of medals. The Indian contingent added 9 medals to the tally with 3 gold, 5 silver, 1 bronze. In the Bangabandhu South Asian Football Federation SAF Championship 2023 being played in Bengaluru, Kuwait has become the first team to qualify to the semi-finals. Hosts India is now playing Nepal in the second match of the day today. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrives on a 2-day visit to Egypt after a successful state visit to the United States. Prime Minister to hold roundtable with his Egyptian counterpart Mostafa Madbouly at Cairo. Union Home Minister Amit Shah chairs All PartyMeeting in New Delhi on prevailing Manipur situation, assures to move together towards peace in the state. First COVID-19 booster vaccine developed in India for highly transmissible Omicron variant launched. Russia accuses private mercenary group Wagner of armed mutiny. President Putin calls it a betrayal and vows to crush it. And India's medal tally at Special Olympics World Games in Berlin goes up to 96 with 33 gold. That is all in the news at 9. Good night.